2018 Hyundai Kona. Amidst Hyundai's sprawling, city-like research and development center, a gaggle of 2018 Kona crossovers awaits on the test track ahead. Camouflaged and black vinyl-cladded prototypes zip by as finely dressed security personnel hover silently, observing as we hop into the driver's seat for a rather brief 8-minute runabout on Hyundai's hometown handling course. Hyundai won't launch the Kona in the US until March 2018, well behind the now-established Honda HR-V, Mazda CX-3, Jeep Renegade, and more recent Toyota CHR. We needed to take the time to make sure we got things right for the market and for our customers, said Hyundai Vice Chairman Chang Woo-san. Based on our very limited drive of a pre-production Korean spec Kona, Hyundai will have a solid shot at scooping up what's left of this booming segment. Our test car is a loaded example that boasts the optional combination of a 1.6-liter turbo 4 and 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. As in previous models, such as the Veloster Turbo and Sonata Eco, the engine makes 175 horsepower and a healthy 195 pounds-to-foot of torque from 1,500 to 4,500 RPM. The BAS engine will be a 2.0-liter Atkinson cycle 4 good for 147 horsepower and 132 pounds-to-foot of torque paired with a 6-speed automatic. Drive modes include normal and sport, with the latter adding slightly heavier steering, sharper throttle sensitivity, and a sportier transmission mapping that downshifts earlier under braking and holds gears longer under heavy throttle input. Other markets will also get an eco option that, somewhat amusingly, isn't included for US models. Experience taught Hyundai that customers often unknowingly leave the drive mode in eco and then complain the car is underpowered. Down the long straightaway at the beginning of our test run, the punchy little engine impressed with its generous low-end torque and smooth shifting transmission. There's a bit of hesitation at low speeds as the dual-clutch tries to find its footing, but once on the boil it's an adept and perfectly suitable powertrain. Hyundai expects 35 to 40% of Kona buyers will spring for the uprated engine, which will be standard on SEL and Ultimate models. The BAS engine and transmission will be the sole powertrain for the lower-level SE and SEL trims. All-wheel drive will be offered as a standalone option on all models, and Hyundai expects about 45% of buyers to tick that box. Hyundai is so far frustratingly mum on how exactly the suspension and steering will be tuned for US spec models, but the Korean spec Kona has a reasonably firm suspension and pleasant heft to the steering. While not as sharp and responsive as a Mazda CX-3, the Kona is a far cry from the lethargic Honda HR-V, even in normal mode. Body roll was noticeable, but not excessive, during swift navigation of several roundabouts. Over expansion joints and small bumps, the Kona shows off very solid body control and compliance, although Hyundai's handling course is a world away from some of America's more decrepit roads. Engineered imperfection just isn't the same as good old-fashioned neglect and poor infrastructure management. Our test car was equipped with all-wheel drive, meaning it featured a multi-link rear suspension in place of the front-wheel drive version's torsion beam setup. Pricing won't be announced until closer to launch, but Hyundai's US public relations team says it'll be positioned competitively and cheaper than the $23,460 Toyota CHR. Expect the base model to start at about $20,000. With its good chunk of available gear, not to mention the pedestrian detection safety technology that's something of a rarity so far in this space, the 2018 Hyundai Kona should present a perfectly valid alternative within a space that's becoming ever more crowded with choices. It'll be the first strike in Hyundai's planned SUV product assault, which will include a smaller crossover below the Kona as well as a 3-row family SUV above the Santa Fe.